Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this special edition of our Entertainment Breakdown show, where we dive deep into the hottest moments shaking up Hollywood and daytime TV. Today, we're unpacking one of the most talked about incidents of the year: the explosive clash between legendary actor Samuel L. Jackson and the ever-charismatic host Tamron Hall on her syndicated talk show. It was supposed to be a light-hearted interview promoting Jackson's latest blockbuster, a high-octane action flick where he reprises his role as the no-nonsense super spy Nick Fury in the Marvel Universe. But what started as casual banter quickly escalated into a fiery confrontation that left audiences stunned and social media ablaze. Picture this: the studio lights beaming down on the sleek set of the Tamron Hall Show, with its vibrant red couches and enthusiastic live audience clapping as Jackson strides in, all smiles and signature swagger. Tamron, dressed in a sharp emerald green blazer that complements her warm smile, greets him with that infectious energy she's known for. Hugs, laughter, the works. The band plays a quick snippet of the film's theme, and the crowd erupts. But beneath the surface, tensions were brewing, rooted in deeper issues of respect, representation, and the pressures of being a black icon in an industry that's often more performative than progressive. As we rewind the tape, let's set the stage properly. Samuel L. Jackson, at 76 years young, isn't just an actor. He's a cultural force, with over 150 films under his belt, from Pulp Fiction's Jules Winfield quoting Ezekiel to his commanding presence in everything from Django Unchained to the Avengers saga. His career spans decades of breaking barriers, earning him the honor of being the highest-grossing actor of all time, raking in billions at the box office. As the silence stretched like a taut wire in the Tamron Hall studio, Samuel L. Jackson's eyes locked onto hers with the intensity of a laser-guided missile, precise, unyielding, and ready to strike. The audience, a mix of loyal fans in colorful Tamron tees and wide-eyed tourists clutching programs, shifted uncomfortably in their seats, sensing the shift from convivial chat to verbal chess match. Tamron, ever the pro, maintained her composed posture, her manicured hands folded neatly in her lap, but there was a flicker in her gaze, a mix of genuine curiosity and the thrill of the hunt that defines great interviewers. Jackson, drawing a slow breath that seemed to pull all the oxygen from the room, leaned forward, his voice dropping to that signature rumble that could hush a battlefield. Typecast? Tamron, let's not dance around it. Every role I've taken, from Jules in Pulp Fiction to Mace Windu swinging that lightsaber, has layers you wouldn't see if you just skimmed the script. Angry black man? That's the lazy label critics slap on when a brother dares to emote beyond a smile. The words landed like thunderclaps, each syllable weighted with the gravitas of a man who's stared down Oscar snubs and box office biases for 40 years. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, some nodding in fierce agreement, others exchanging wide-eyed glances, phones already sneaking out to capture the moment for posterity. Tamron, quick as a fox, didn't flinch. Instead, she tilted her head, her locks swaying gently, and countered with the poise of someone who's grilled politicians and pop stars alike. Fair point, Samuel, and I respect your depth. With the studio lights casting long shadows across the polished floor, the standoff between Samuel L. Jackson and Tamron Hall intensified, each word a spark threatening to consume the carefully curated set. The audience, now a powder keg of emotions, fidgeted in their seats, some cheering Jackson's unapologetic stance with fervent, "Yes, sir" calls, others murmuring support for Tamron's right to dig deep, their loyalties fracturing along lines of empathy and experience. Overhead, the monitors in the production booth glowed with frantic activity, ratings spiking in real time, social media alerts pinging like machine gun fire, executives pacing with phones glued to ears. Jackson, his posture now rigid as a coiled spring, uncrossed his arms and fixed Tamron with a gaze that could melt steel, his voice rising in pitch and volume for the first time, that iconic timbre cracking with raw frustration. Ambush? Let's call it what it is, a gotcha moment dressed up as sisterhood. You invite me here to plug my movie, then flip to therapy session without warning. I came to talk shop, not unpack my soul for your segments. The accusation sliced through the air, sharp and unfiltered, drawing a sharp intake of breath from the front row, where a young fan in a Captain America hoodie clutched her friend's arm, whispering, "Oh snap, it's going down." Tamron, her composure a testament to years in the hot seat, didn't wilt. Instead, she straightened her spine, her voice steady but laced with an edge of hurt that humanized the moment. "Samuel, gotcha? That's not my style. This is me, real talk, pushing for the truth because your voice matters. If it's too real, say so, but don't paint me as the villain in your narrative." Her retort was fire met with fire, a clapback that resonated with women in the crowd who nodded vigorously, recognizing the double bind of being both ally and interrogator. The heavy studio door swung shut with a resonant thud that reverberated through the Tamron Hall Show, set like the final note of a dramatic symphony, leaving Samuel L. Jackson's silhouette fading into the wings as the audience processed the seismic exit in stunned waves. Chaos reigned in the immediate aftermath. Gasps morphed into a roar of overlapping voices, fans chanting, "Sam! Sam!" in desperate bids to summon him back, while others turned to Tamron with sympathetic murmurs, a few even dabbing at tears with crumpled tissues from the seat pockets. The host, still rooted to her spot amid the scattered promo materials, blinked rapidly, her professional mask cracking just enough to reveal the sting of rejection, her chest rising and falling in measured breaths as she grappled with the whirlwind she'd unwittingly unleashed. Cameras, merciless in their vigilance, zoomed in on her face, capturing the subtle quiver of her lower lip, the way her fingers twisted the hem of her blazer, a raw glimpse behind the curtain of live TV poise. The band, caught off guard, fumbled into an ad-libbed instrumental, the saxophone wailing a melancholic solo that underscored the surreal hush descending over the crowd. Producers' voices crackled urgently over headsets. "Cut to break? No, roll credits. Hold, get B-roll." But Tamron, ever the anchor in the storm, raised a hand for silence, her voice emerging steady yet laced with emotion, addressing the room like a general rallying troops. "Wow, folks. That was intense." Samuel L. Jackson, a true legend, reminding us all why his voice is so vital. Let's take a breath and honor that fire. Applause trickled in, hesitant at first, then building to a respectful crescendo, a collective exhale that acknowledged the gravity without fully resolving it. Backstage, Jackson paused in the dimly lit green room, his reflection staring back from a full-length mirror, disheveled tie, furrowed brow, the weight of the walk-off settling like an uninvited guest. In the electrified corridors of social media, where opinions ignite faster than California wildfires, the Samuel L. Jackson Tamron Hall clash detonated like a cultural IED, fragmenting into 1,000 viral shards that pierced every corner of the digital landscape within hours of the walk-off. Twitter, X, for the purists, led the charge, the timeline transforming into a coliseum of gladiatorial takes. Hashtag Samuel L. Jackson trending globally at #1, amassing 2.3 million mentions before the East Coast bedtime, each tweet a lance or laurel. Die-hard fans erected digital barricades, posting montages of Jackson's fiercest scenes, Jules' Bible recitals synced to the interview's tense beats, captioned, "When they mistake prophecy for anger # Team Fury," racking up retweets like box office receipts. Influencers piled on, from podcaster Joe Budden dissecting the bro code breach in a 20-minute thread, Tamron crossed the family line, Sol J had to bounce, to TikTok therapists lip-syncing Jackson's exit line over dramatic slow-mo replays, stitches exploding with user confessions. "This is why I ghosted my therapist. Too real too fast." Backlash brewed too, a counterwave crashing with #Justice for Tamron, where women's rights advocates framed her as the unsung hero, memes juxtaposing her poised retort with Jackson's stride out, overlaid with Beyoncé's flawless audio. "We wake up flawless, but they still question the crown." Celebrities waited in selectively, Jamie Foxx dropping a cryptic emoji storm, "Fire crown door," while Oprah, ever the sage, issued a measured IG story. "Vulnerability is the bridge, not the battlefield. Healing starts with hearing."